What's going on, everyone? So the Lakers got the job done against the Phoenix Suns in a game that just kind of seemed like the Lakers were coasting, right? It kind of seemed like a game where the Lakers were like, hey, we're going to win this. Let's just do our best not to get hurt and walk out of this game with the W. And the Lakers did do it. You know, it would have been nice to have a little more urgency, a little more just dominance, especially going up against the Phoenix Suns bench. But as you saw, and you've seen it all season, right? Teams will rest guys or sit guys, and then the bench guys, the guys that don't get as much burn, they show up. I mean, even the night prior, Phoenix almost lost to like the third string on the Denver Nuggets with all their players. It's just teams do that. Teams play down to their competition. And it's not the greatest thing in the world. It's not what you want to see, especially so close to the playoffs. But hey, a win is a win. The Lakers are now 8-2 over this last 11-game stretch, which they needed to, and they still have a legitimate chance at the 6th seed. Now, they really need the Portland Trail Blazers to pick it up and beat the Golden State Warriors. All of us Laker fans on Sunday are going to be, wearing our Trailblazers hoodies or hats or jerseys or whatever, right? Get that stuff, dust it off. If you don't have it, go get it. Let's ride for the Blazers so that way the Lakers can squeeze into that 6th seed. But give you an idea of where the playoffs stand. So the Eastern Conference is completely locked up. You have all the teams. Nothing is going to change. Everyone's basically set in the position that they're in. You're going to have the Heat play the Hawks. You're going to have the Bulls play the Raptors. And then you have the Sixers and the Nets. Then that matchup, which I'm excited for, and the Cavs and the Knicks. That's going to be a fun series. And then we'll see what happens with the Boston and Milwaukee, who they end up playing. My guess is they probably end up playing Miami, probably squeezes into that 7th seed, which I do think a first round of Miami and Boston would be a lot of fun. And then I think Atlanta will probably end up squeezing that 8th seed and play the Milwaukee Bucks, which again could be interesting, but I think the Bucks just kind of run through them. And then on the Western side, that is not locked up at all. There are still several teams, like even the Pelicans could end up getting the 5th seed. Same thing with the Lakers. If the Clippers end up losing both of their games, all of a sudden the Lakers are right there. But there's also the potential for all kinds of ties and all kinds of stuff. I'm not going to go heavy into it just because there are literally like 100 combinations of things that can happen. But the things that do appear locked up is the Phoenix Suns as the 4th seed. They're very likely going to play one of the Clippers and or the Golden State Warriors. The Clippers, they still need to win outright because if they lose a game, things can get very complicated, and they could end up falling into the play-in. So it's just something to kind of keep an eye on, keep in mind as we move forward here. You got the Sacramento Kings locked up as the 3 seed. You got Denver, who locked up the 1 seed, and the Grizzlies, who have locked up the 2 seed. You have the Oklahoma City Thunder, who have locked up the 10th seed, as the Dallas Mavericks are officially eliminated, which is crazy. Luka and Kyrie, they were the 4th seed when they traded for Kyrie, and then went from that to completely out of the play-in. They have no way of getting into the play-in now. So your play-in spots are pretty set. So the Lakers cannot finish worse than 8th. Lakers winning the game against the Phoenix Suns last night was huge because at worst, they would finish the 8th seed. Even if they lose the game against the Jazz, which they shouldn't, and we'll touch on that in a minute. But even if they lose that game, the Lakers cannot finish worse than 8th place, which is massive. Now, the Pelicans and the Timberwolves, they play each other, and very likely who wins that game is who the Lakers are going to play in the play-in. So that becomes very interesting. Personally, I would rather play the Pelicans than the Timberwolves. I think the Lakers can beat both of those teams. Not really worried about either of those teams. Not just that, but if the Lakers handle business and they're the 7th seed, they would be at home. They have 2 games to win 1. I trust the Lakers to get into the playoffs, right? But the Minnesota Timberwolves do match up much better against us than the Pelicans do, although Rui seemed to be the answer to Karl Anthony Towns. So if we do end up playing the Minnesota Timberwolves, I really hope Darvin Ham starts Rui against Cat. Put Rui on Cat, put AD on Gobert, and then put LeBron at the 3 spot and match up that way. That's how I would do it personally, just because we saw how good of a job Rui did on Cat, because Cat can't move Rui the way he was able to with like LeBron and Vanderbilt and stuff like that. So that would be, I think, a good way to approach this. But the Lakers also could still get in the 6th seed if the Golden State Warriors lose to the Blazers. I wouldn't hold my breath. I wouldn't really count on it, but you never know. Regardless, the Lakers have to do their part. They have to do their job. You got to play the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz are officially eliminated. The Utah Jazz would absolutely love to lose this game, so that way they could get a better draft pick. But the players don't care. The players are going to want to win, and we saw that. You saw THT try to go off for 40. You saw Damian Jones turn into a hybrid of Giannis and Steph Curry. You know, Damian Jones was literally unplayable for us. I mean, when he did get playing time, he was so bad. It was like, dude, I'd rather put Patrick Beverley at center than have Damian Jones play out there, because he just was playing just so atrocious. And then he plays against us for the Utah Jazz, and the guy shoots perfect from the field, knocks down like 3 or 4 threes, was an absolute monster. And you're just like, where was this guy? Like, if he played anywhere close to that, he probably would have been starting for the Lakers at that point. But, you know, regardless, last game of the season, it would be so nice to win that game. It'd be so nice to just finish the season on a 9-2 run out of our last 11. Really have a shot at getting the 6th seed. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. If not, you finish as the 7th seed. You get to stay in LA. The Lakers wouldn't have to leave LA until the first round of the playoffs against the Memphis Grizzlies. So you get the extra rest. You don't get a week, but you still get like 3 days or whatever it is if you win that initial game. So that would be nice. Go get that win. Not have to worry about nothing. Go into that 7-game series against the Grizzlies, who I do believe the Lakers can absolutely beat in a 7-game series. I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be a very good, hard, competitive series, but I do believe the Lakers have more than enough to get that done. You know, you got Anthony Davis and Triple J. That's a great matchup. You know, you got Jared Vanderbilt, who he can guard Ja Morant if you have to. No, you have options. You have pieces. Lakers have more than enough talent, but it starts with the Jazz. Go beat the Jazz. You don't want to... There is an argument to be made for the Lakers to just sit the Jazz game. There really is, because the Lakers, again, the Lakers can't finish worse than 8th. But do you really want to travel... Like, do you really want to have to go fly to Minnesota or New Orleans and play in that matchup? And then let's say you win. Now you got to go fly to Memphis. And it's just like, why? Why are you going to do all this travel and do all this stuff for no reason, right? Stay at home. Stay in your bed as long as you can, because that's where you're going to get the most rest. You have all of your people, all of your trainers, all of your dietitians, all of your everything. You have everything there with you. You have your family, so you're in a better mood, you're happier, you're feeling more confident, you want to do good for them, like all of that stuff, right? Do your job. Finish this out. Beat the Jazz. There is the possibility of like, hey, sitting them, like, hey, let's rest LeBron, let's rest AD. Don't go into this game. Don't have to play too hard. You know, play all the other guys. And look, the Lakers could very well still win that game. Right? Like, you could sit LeBron and AD and just go with everybody. Like, literally play everyone else. Go Reeves, D'Lo, Rui, Vando, and Mo Bamba. You could do that, and I still think the Lakers could win that game. But ideally, I'd like to get the win, because you never know, right? Let's say you do end up playing the Timberwolves, and now you got to go into Minnesota, and you lose that game, right? Because instead of being at home, you're on the road. That team's already a tough matchup, because matchups are a real thing in the NBA. I do believe the Lakers are better and have more talent, but matchups are a real thing. They don't have to be better I think in a 7-game series, the Lakers probably win in 5 or 6, but that doesn't matter. If that one game, that one loss is the game that they play in the play-in, it happens, right? And now, not only do you have to go fly to, Minnesota, now you got to go fly to, we're back to LA to do the game against, the Thunder or the Pelicans, and now you run the risk of missing the play-in altogether. Why? Because you wanted to sit LeBron and AD? Like, sit them during that 3-day, 4-day stretch, whatever it is, before you go into the playoffs. That's what I'd like to see. Again, ideally, we play the Pelicans, because I just think we match up against them far better. I think we have their number this year. Zion has already been ruled out for the play-in, so we don't have to worry about Zion having some magical appearance and just elevating the Pelicans. Anthony Davis loves to play the Pelicans, and I can see Anthony Davis having a big monster game in that play-in against the Pelicans, all that stuff. It's just, no matter how you slice it, the best way to do this is handle business. Finish the season strong. You can still coast and all that stuff if you want to. We saw that the Lakers can coast and end up getting the seeding that they want. But, if you can... I want to see a little more urgency than that first game, right? I don't have a problem with them coasting, but, keep it within reason, right? Don't get too carried away to where you end up dropping that game. That's what I don't want to see them do. That's what I don't want to see happen. Also, the problem is that the Lakers and the Warriors and Blazers game are at the same time. They're both at 12:30 on Sunday, which sucks because I wish the Lakers game was later. Because if the Lakers game was later, then we could see if the Warriors win or not. Because my fear is that the Lakers do sit LeBron and AD, and the Warriors lose to the Blazers, and now the Lakers had a chance to get the 6th seed, but they sat AD and LeBron, and now it's like, oh no, like what did we just do? Because look, the Warriors, they've been great, all that stuff, I get it, but they've been terrible on the road. Terrible, right? They're still the Warriors and all that. They've turned it around a lot more lately. They've played better basketball, all that stuff, but they still have one of the worst road teams in the league. And so if the Lakers could somehow manage to get that win against Utah, which is why I just say, just get the win, and get the win and let the cards fall where they may. If they fall and you land in the 6th seed, great. If they fall and you land in the play-in, great. Whatever it is, get through that road, get through that test, do what you got to do, and win the game, right? All of the key important games are all at 12:30. Warriors, Blazers, Wolves, Pelicans, and then the Lakers and the Jazz. Those are all like the important games for us. So that's going to be very interesting. Even the Clippers and Suns could be an interesting game depending on what happens with the Clippers and Blazers. Although I think the Clippers run through the Blazers tomorrow. But we'll see. Time will tell. Regardless, I'm excited. Looking forward to it. I can't wait for Lakers basketball in the playoffs. But how do you feel? What are your thoughts? What are your opinions? I'd love to hear it. How do you feel? Let me know down in the comment section.